I asked my AI agent to match every F1 driver to a coffee shop in Dublin. And to pull that off, it had to query two completely different databases at once. Most enterprise teams working on multiple projects don't just have one kind of database engine. There's usually a Postgres database here, a MySQL one there, maybe even a few non-relational databases too. So if you work in an environment like that, there's one CLI tool that gives your coding agents the ability to interface with all your different database engines. It's called usql, and let me show you how it works. For today, I've spun up two test databases here on my local home server. A Postgres database with some coffee shops in Dublin, and a MySQL one with some hallucinated 2025 F1 driver statistics. Now, before we get to the exciting bits, I think AI is great and all. But with things like this, where we intend to give it access to production databases, we must be sensible and set some guardrails. We don't ever want to end up in a situation where a rogue agent ends up deleting a production database. So for our use case today, we've set up a database user called AI agent on both databases with read-only access. Depending on your database and enterprise setup, you might opt for a different way of locking down the agent's access. To make life easy for your AI agents, you can configure your database connections in one config file like so. This way, agents can simply refer to a database by name and will be able to establish a connection right away. With the AI agent user and config file in place, here's how usql actually works if you were to run it yourself. Here's a simple select on the Postgres database, and here's a similar select on the MySQL database. Nice. Okay, now we know that the CLI tool works, and it's cool, but we want the agent driving this, not us. So here's a small skill I added that tells the agent when to reach for usql. In my experience, I find adding this explicit rule that asks the agent to never assume table or column names really helps with hallucination-related issues. It ensures the agent always inspects the schema before executing any SQL against the database. Okay, let's get to the fun part now. I'm going to open up my agent and then ask which Dublin neighborhood has the best coffee on average. This is a simple query that is meant to run a simple group by an average on the Postgres coffee table. And here we can see it describes the table to see what columns actually exist before running the aggregate and responding to us. I think those results make sense. You go to the city center for a reliable cup of coffee, I suppose. Okay, now let's take it up a notch and use the agent as the join layer for data fetched from both databases. Let's say every 2025 F1 driver is coming to Dublin in the off season and wants good coffee. Assign each one a cafe where the best performing drivers get the highest rated cafes. Okay, so this is a very interesting query because the drivers dataset lives in MySQL and the cafes live on Postgres. That's data in two separate database engines. So the agent queries each database on its own, works out what best this season means, and then joins the two lists by itself. It even spots that there are 15 drivers, but only 12 cafes, and makes a call on the overflow. Finally, let's also test the guardrail as well, by asking the agent to delete 3FE as a cafe. Aha, permission denied. And that comes from the database, not from trusting the model to behave. So even if the agent wanted to, it couldn't do it. So that's it. One CLI, a read-only user, and a small skill. That's all you need to give your AI coding agents access to multiple database engines. My full setup, including the config and the skill, is in the blog post linked below. If you do end up trying usql on your production databases, let me know how it goes. Writing in the margins of my mind.
mind all day, sipping herbal in the morning just to feel okay. Had a dream I was water just flowing through space till I landed